A man named Daniel met with an accident and suffered severe head injuries. After he suffered severe head injuries, he was taken to the hospital. He was in coma for almost 9 days, and neurologically there was no problem. But the problem started after he started recovering. He couldn't recognize his parents. He can see them, he knows them, but to him, his parents were not his parents. It was some imposters who's pretending to be his parents. So, what is happening exactly to David? Come, let's find out in this episode of Case Files. So basically what's happening with David is one of the most bizarre neurological condition you can ever imagine and known to medical science. So what he is having is something called Capgras delusion, or is also known as imposter syndrome. So what causes this disease? I mean, not a disease, this neurological condition. So the thing is, medicos, if you are watching this, please don't confuse this with Fregoli syndrome. Fregoli syndrome is when you feel that your loved one is replaced by someone familiar. But in Capgras, it's like an imposter who's pretending to be your loved one. And the pathology of this disease is that whatever whoever we see, that information goes from the eye to the occipital cortex that process the image, and that sends to the fusiform cortex so that we can see the face. Then this sends it to amygdala. So if we see a loved one, that emotions outburst. What happened to David is that there is loss of connection. I mean, the nerve connecting from the fusiform cortex to the amygdala is cut. Thus, he can see their faces, he recognizes them, but he doesn't get that feeling. Like, that is what David is saying. Like, if I see my parents, I should get that feeling like, okay, I'm talking to my parents, I'm seeing that parents. But no, his condition is so bad that he's like, the whatever is surrounding him, it's like everything is pretending. Like, he can't even recognize his own house. Like, he is in his actual house, but he is like, no, this is an environment which is pretending to be my house.
Not only had delusions about people, he also believed that the house that he lived in was just an imitation of his home.
One day he started getting really angry. I want to go to my house. I want to go to David's house.
And there's one catchy thing. When his parents talks to him through phone, then he gets convinced like, okay, I'm actually talking to my parents. And then he is like, that's what he believes, because the connection between the auditory complex to the amygdala is not broken in case of David.
Why would he be crazy in person but not on the phone? The answer is there's a separate pathway that goes from the auditory cortex, the hearing part of the temporal lobe, to the amygdala. And that pathway was not damaged to David by the car accident. Therefore, when he listens to his father on the phone, there is no delusion.
Yeah, great.
This is a lovely example how you can take a completely bizarre neurological syndrome, maybe from the X-Files of neurology.
Thus, he is like, he can recognize him through phone call. He gets the feeling through the phone call. But when the same person talks to him in person, he is like, no, this is not my mother, father, friend. It's an imposter who's pretending to be them. And this is a very famous case of Dr. Ramachandran. So medicos, you guys must be knowing, he's a very famous neuroscientist. So if you guys are asking what is the current update, well, the treatment for this is mainly counseling. Put them on antipsychotics. That's what we can do, because a nerve which is lost, and medicine has not progressed that we can regenerate a nerve or something. Like, once a nerve is broken, cut, it is cut. We can't do anything. So it's a very interesting case that I wanted to share to you all. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more case files. Bye bye.